Probably because first night this week I've had more than like 4 hours of sleep. But it is Saturday again, and Saturdays are bigger. The last vlog you guys watched was Sunday workouts, so still lots of training. But when we have big bike Saturday, it's like a whole different beast. We're expending so many calories, it's unreal. So breakfast is a little bit different, but still the same, just more calories, more carbohydrates. So I do have that overnight oats again. And then I have a half of Dave's Killer Bread bagel with peanut butter. So roughly between this bowl of oats and the bagel, I think I'm probably around 60 grams of carbohydrates. And have my coffee, sipping on 500 milligrams of sodium. So maybe what we'll try to do today, the workouts are pretty tough, so like we won't be able to talk a whole lot through them, but we can kind of lay out our nutrition that we'll be intaking through all the workouts. I know a lot of you guys had questions on like how many carbohydrates, how much sodium, how much fluids, and I think when sometimes I talk about it, people are like, how the f*** are you consuming that much? It seems almost like too much, but we'll film going through like what goes into each of my bottles and then my reason behind it, and then we'll kind of go over Kim so you can kind of compare where we're at from like an intensity level, an expenditure, and then like just based on how much we each sweat and lose sodium, things are a little bit different. We did get some extra sleep. Saturday is like our only opportunity to do so, so we take advantage of that, like that extra hour and a half in bed. We have our coffee in bed, and it just kind of gives you that, just that different Saturday vibe that we're kind of looking for. So it's not like as much of like a work day, it's just, hey, let's get excited for today. We got some really cool training, and we know it's going to be making a huge impact on our fitness. Like every weekend from now over the next 10 weeks leading up to Texas, every workout is super critical. Like the fitness gets banked every time we hit these big sessions. I'm really excited.
For today, I'm excited.
Oh, Kim's excited too.
I get excited for Saturdays.
I'm gonna be honest, I was grumpy the last 20 minutes, and she was trying to film stuff in the kitchen. I just told her to get out of my way. I am a grump. Like you guys only see the good. I get grumpy a lot.
Yeah, and we promise no grumpies for Ironman Texas prep. Although I do have grumpies too. Swim mornings.
Yeah.
You coming in here? Come on in. Hi.
Oh, big sweetie. Chaos. 4-ish hours on the bike. We have a 2 hour and 15 or 2 hour and 20 minute endurance ride right into a climb up Alpe du Zwift again. So it's essentially some extended like Ironman efforts, just getting the feeling of endurance. Training for a full distance Ironman is way different than a 70.3. Longer duration, so you're not at that like big intensity level as a 70.3, so we do a lot of endurance work. But then the climb is just to stimulate, recruiting more muscle fibers, putting down more power, and really it's like an association of like weight training, like for strength. So the climb is the strength portion of the day. What I found out is what I'm about to show you as far as what I consume. This isn't just me guessing on what I need to take in. This has been 2 years of figuring out what's worked for my stomach from a GI perspective, from a calorie, carbohydrate, sodium perspective, to make sure that I have energy throughout my workout. I'm not losing so much sodium that I'm cramping, and that I'm getting enough calories per hour so when I'm fueling on the bike, that's where you consume the majority of your calories throughout the day. You get to the run, and you should feel good when you start to run, and it's just kind of maintenance on the run instead of trying to fill your stomach with a ton of fluids, ton of gels and carbohydrates and calories. So a lot of people have been asking what Axe and Sledge products I take for endurance training. So I'm like an outlier. People that race full distance Ironman, 70.3, anything that's longer course or longer endurance days, there isn't a product on the market that actually fits our lifestyle. And if there was, it's such a niche product that honestly none of you guys are ever going to be consuming this unless you're doing what I do. So I can't take Demo Day, our carbohydrate powder from Axe and Sledge, for bike or run days. I just can't. There is pump products in it, as many of you know. My lower back, my quads, my hamstrings, my glutes, they will get too pumped on the bike. Not to mention our products are very heavily flavored because we like that big, bold flavor profile. And when you have to consume one of these, a 24-ounce bottle and a 20-ounce bottle every hour that I'm on the bike for 4 to 5 hours, you can see where I'm getting here with the flavoring and everything being too much. So what I take is, it's probably like the products that like everyone thinks like, oh, bottom of the barrel, which I still think they are. I don't think they're super high quality products, but they are made to do exactly what I need them to do. So for the carbohydrates, I take Isoactive by Power Bar. I like the ratios of carbohydrates, calories, and sodium because it is lighter and flavored, and I can stack multiple servings in each bottle to make sure I'm getting enough of what I need. So a serving of this is 1.5 scoops, which is 29 carbohydrates, 380 milligrams of sodium, 120 calories. So what I do, essentially 1 scoop is like 20 carbs. So I'll do 4 scoops of this per bottle. So it's like 80 carbohydrates and probably about, let's see, 380 and a scoop and a half. 12, it's around 1,500 to 1,800 milligrams of sodium per bottle. So I'll just do 1 bottle for you guys so you can see.
And another good thing about this product too, I don't think you mentioned that it's a dual source carbohydrate. So doing endurance, having a dual source is actually, they say, is easier because of just the way your body utilizes those carbohydrates rather than just being one source.
So I did 4 scoops of that, which meets kind of how many carbs I need per hour. I'll be drinking one of these bottles and then a gel, which has another, 26 carbohydrates. I'm aiming for about 100 to 120 grams of carbohydrates per hour. I can't just drink all gels. It would up my stomach. And I can't drink any more carb powder per hour just based on the amount of bottles I can start with on the bike. So 80 carbs, another 20 gets me at like 105, and there'll be some crossover hour to hour of some extra calories that come in. So to finish off this bottle, it's not enough sodium. I need almost 3,000 milligrams of sodium per hour. So a great way to do that is just by using sodium citrate. Instead of using, our Axe and Sledge electrolytes to add on top of that, it is a great source of sodium and electrolytes. However, the flavor stacked on top of this, you can just kind of tell that it's going to be too much for my palate to sustain for a 10 to 12 hour Ironman race. So we use sodium citrate just to get the counts up. So I'll do a full half teaspoon scoop. That's another 700. And then I'll do another quarter scoop to give probably This will make it 2,200 around milligrams of sodium in this bottle, and I'll get some more sodium from the gels. So I will do this 4 times and show them the bottles. Not that close, but so I'll have 4 of these concentrated. These 3 20-ounce bottles will just be plain water, because what I've found is I need more than just these concentrated bottles. I need the plain water just to keep my digestion on point and to make sure that I'm not getting heartburn and it's still flushing and delivering all the nutrients. So those are my bottles. 1 of these gels per hour, if not 2. I go by feel. If I'm feeling like I'm literally drowning, I'll take more than 1 of these per hour. And then, since this is a full distance Ironman, we're burning a lot of calories on the bike. I actually need some whole foods, not just gels and liquids. So I'll do these chews. We have these Morton's bars that are high carbohydrates, and it's solid and it's going to stick with you throughout the day. This is just for the bike this morning. I got an hour runoff. I'll come back in and get more nutrition for the run. This is what it looks like.
All right, this is my nutrition here. Not as intense as Bobby's, but I do have prepping myself for about 4 hours. So we have 4 bottles. I have 3 scoops of the carbohydrate powder that we have. That gives me 60 grams of carbs in each bottle. And then each hour I will go ahead and take a gel as well. So that gives me 85 grams of carbohydrates per hour. And then within the carb powder and the gels, that's about 1,200 milligrams of sodium. I typically have an issue with energy sustaining throughout a ride. So having this extra gel, putting me up an extra 25 grams of carbohydrates seems to be working really well for me. I do have a little bit of a sensitive stomach, so I do take some Tums, usually pre-long rides, mainly because of the flavor of the gels are a little heavy. And then I do have a 20-ounce bottle of plain water that I typically sip on during my ride. So yeah, that's my nutrition, and we'll see how that plays out.
So we're not really guessing when it comes to this. Do you want to touch on, what we've done as far as sweat tests?
Yeah, I mean, we have done a Levelin sweat test that you put a patch on your arm. You typically weigh yourself before your ride. Try to be naked, pee first, weigh yourself, do an hour workout, and you measure the intensity of the workout, the temperature of outside that you're working out, or if we're in the garage, the amount of fluids that you consume. Once you're done that hour, you take all your clothes off, dry yourself off, and then weigh yourself again. Pee if you can. And the company actually calculates your sweat loss, how much fluid that you should take in, electrolytes, things such as that. So we have been working off of those results, but sometimes intensity factors in there, temperature factors in there. So we're constantly taking our baseline, but then altering it in a way just to see what it does for us. And honestly, for me, every Saturday, since this is my first full Ironman, I have been doing a pre-weight and post-weight test before these long rides, because again, I've never done a 6-hour bike ride, so I need to know what my body is doing, how is it reacting to all these fluids. So that's something we're constantly keeping up on. And like Bobby said, 2 hours for him, 2 years for him that he's been trying to figure this out. And it's been about a year for me. So it's just something that you constantly have to work on, learning your body and what it's doing with all of these products.
That company for the sweat test analysis is Levelin. I'll put a link in the description of this video, but I think it's around $100, and they send you everything you need to do the test, the instructions, how to do the test. You send out the test results, and then you get a full report back that tells you how much fluid you should be intaking per hour, how much sodium you should intake per hour, how many carbs, creates that baseline, and then you just adjust accordingly depending on if it's affecting your GI, if you're sampling new products, and all that good stuff. they say the nutrition aspect of these races is the fourth discipline of triathlon. So you got swim, bike, run, nutrition. It's imperative. You can't just get through one of these races in a fasted state or just sheer will. You got to fuel the beast. Massacre.
Got your tissues.
I don't know what happens with camera up here. I don't know what happens with my nose. I don't know if it's just like the temperature difference in here, but it runs nonstop. It drives me crazy. Anyway, 2 hour and 15-minute endurance ride is done. We hit all of our fueling, I think, pretty efficiently throughout that. I was soaked. Like that zone 2, zone 3-ish, I just sweat and burn calories like crazy. So I changed my socks. I even put new bibs on. We're going right into an Alp climb. It takes about 70 to 90 minutes depending on how good you are. But the idea, like this is what the end of your bike leg during an Ironman should feel like. It should hurt. And it's what you really need to bring yourself into T2 for that transition. So I think that's the idea, is that we're riding endurance, building that stamina, building that, that base, then building some strength when you're under extreme fatigue, and making sure the fueling stays on point so then you never have a real drop off in effort or power. And in theory, you should get done this climb ready for your runoff and still feel pretty good. That's the goal. It's so hard to film this shit when we're actually in it. We're so focused on really nailing these workouts, but maybe we'll film like what the map looks like on the screen, because what it looks like on the screen is how it feels under your feet. Zwift and the smart trainers from Wahoo, they're really great at giving that real feel of being outside. So we'll give you a little glimpse of that. Otherwise, we'll chat after we're done climbing. And we both have a pretty significant runoff. It doesn't say runoff, but I'm gonna run off. And
Let's get this done.
Let's Let's get it done. I just drank another espresso, so it's either gonna help me or I'm gonna my pants on the bike. We'll see.
Okay. 30-second rest in between each mile to bring the heart rate down. What are you laughing at? Just got done the bike. We both changed, got out of those sweaty clothes, and we got to hop on the treadmill. We both have a 45. Do you have 45 or an hour?
1 hour.
Bob has 1 hour. I have a 45-minute. Both of us is supposed to be aerobic, so under 146, 147 heart rate. 30-second rest in between each mile. We got more water, fuel, ate a little snack, got changed out of our sweaty clothes, and just putting our shoes on now. Charging up our speaker because it died. That's about it. Do you have anything to say? How do you feel?
Feel pretty good. Oh, I look like hell.
You look like hell is right.
I feel like I rolled around in the sand. I lose an extreme amount of sodium, but I was really pumped. So last week we did almost the exact same ride, and the endurance ride was just extended a little bit, and then the goal is to always do these key workouts, like even if they're the same, try to do them better each week. And I mean, that's what we did. I almost came within my 2-minute PR for that climb. And my PR climb was done on its own. Like I didn't have a 2-hour endurance ride before it. So guys, the idea with this sport, I mean, not just this sport, anything that you want to really progress in life with, you just have to keep showing up every day. Me and Kim put a serious amount of time and effort into what we do with this sport because we want to do something big with it. I don't just want to cross the finish line and finish. If that's your goal, then that's outstanding. That should be your goal. My first Ironman, my goal was to cross the line before the actual time cap hit so I would officially become an Ironman. And that's a great start for anyone that is trying to get into any type of racing. 5K, 10K, short distance, long distance, whatever the it is, you know, no matter where you're starting at, you're not going to succeed if you don't show up every day. So that's all we keep doing. Like I'm shot. I'm done for the day right now mentally, but if I don't get on this treadmill and do my 60-minute run, how am I going to feel on race day when the last hour of the race is there and I'm in contention for a top 10? Am I going to just want to give up? These training sessions should feel worse than your race. It's training your mind, training your body. I don't know, I get off on this shit. The feeling I'm going to have 60 minutes from now, I'm going to forget all the pain I just endured for the last 4 hours. Guys, stop selling yourself short. I don't care if you're just getting started and you can't do what I'm doing right now. Go do what you can do. These things matter. spicy.
It's almost 3 o'clock.
It's almost 3. Started around, what time did we start?
Like 9.
9 to like 2:30 of activity.
It was a little over 4 hours, like 4.5 or something like
4.5 hours.
Yeah.
Here, right here, I'm going to put the data on the screen for all of our workouts. You guys are looking at it right now. At the bottom there, I did 52.39 miles over 2 hours and 15 minutes. That was considered my endurance ride. Average heart rate 134. Main purpose of this ride, honestly, just keeping aerobic heart rate, muscle tension against the pedal, and really like it's the main style efforts that you'll have in a full distance Ironman. Right off of that bike ride, we went right into an Alpe du Zwift climb, which this is pretty crazy. I came within 3 minutes of my PR, and that PR that I had was when I did that climb standalone. So no ride, no 2-hour ride before it. So that's a huge day for me. I could go into power numbers and stuff like that, but I think that needs its own video explaining to you guys what watts are and my progression from where I was, where I'm at today, all that good stuff. So we got done that. The fueling that we prepared this morning that you guys saw, it was probably just enough to get by. I noticed during the climb, I have trouble consuming a lot of liquids and other things because it's so intense. Like, it's just not easy to reach for bottles and drink when you're, breathing so heavy. So that's something I need to get better at. Because after that, I had that 60-minute aerobic run, ended up doing 8 miles over the 60 minutes. And there were some times during that I felt like I was lacking energy, not just physically, but more so mentally. So like some caffeine may have come in handy there, and had some tenderness, almost like I was going to cramp. I can't tell if that was from lack of salt or just straight muscle fatigue, where there's really not much you can do about that other than slow down. So overall, very proud of today. This is one of the hardest workouts we've done so far this block. So Kim, you want to go over your stats?
Yeah. So we had the 2-hour, 15-minute ride. I did about 49 miles. Very well with that. I was happy with the power. Heart rate this week was lower than last week at 140. Right into Alp, which I PR'd, I think it was a 1 minute and 15 second PR. So I was very happy with that. An all-time 90-minute power that I held. Again, very happy.
What were those watts?
I think it was 192 for 60 minutes. And I think my previous one was 180, I want to say. So yeah, I'm getting very strong on the bike, and that's been our main focus. So that's expected. I should be getting stronger on the bike and seeing those numbers. So I felt great fueling wise. I took in extra fluid this time and got right into the run. 45-minute aerobic. My average heart rate was 142, and I ran just shy of 5 miles, so 4.92. Energy was great. I can't really complain at all today. My lower back's a little tired, but nothing to complain about. I'm very happy.
I mean, she's being pretty modest. That's one of the longest runs she's done in a little while, and she did it after almost 3 hours, over 3 hours of riding. So like I said in the last video, coach has really backed off Kim's running because she thinks she can get her fit enough for Ironman just by really killing the bike, lots of swimming, and it showed today that her aerobic capacity is increasing without, I mean, really barely running, like a few miles here and there, some off the runs, but a lot of run walk stuff just to make sure form is feeling good and all that good stuff. So it's really fun to watch this process just because of all the injuries and setbacks that Kim has been battling. So super proud of you.
Thank you.
You did really good.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm really happy.
Yep. But we're pretty trashed.
Big time.
I was gonna like go about the rest of the day, but I think that's it for this video. I might even do like a small video that will be separate tomorrow. I'd like to review. We had a bunch of testing done this week. So 1,000-yard TT, 100-yard TT in the water, an aerobic run test, and an aerobic bike test. So I'm gonna make that a different video. You guys might get 2 videos this week. Oh yeah. Oh ooh. But thanks for watching again. We have a lot of fun with this stuff, so hopefully you guys enjoy it too. It's gonna be a little repetitive because every weekend's the same thing, but I think it will get more exciting as we get closer to the race day and you guys see our fitness go through the roof. And when we're a few weeks out, I get so excited. I don't know, I feel like this is gonna be a really good year for us, and super proud to share it with you guys. So God bless. Have a great week or weekend or whenever you're watching this. I hope you enjoy life and go do the hard stuff. It makes it all worth it.